Shalom, when the stuff, souls but giving no praise to Yahweh, Ba'Shem Yahshua, Ba'Shem Kadash. Double honors to the Apostle of Great Millstone, and honors to you brothers doing the work of the Most High in truth and in sincerity. Yahweh's real name, of whom the world ignorant calls God, Jehovah or Yahweh. His real name is Yahweh. The Son's true name is Yahweh Shai. And when we pray Yahweh, Ba'Shem Yahshua, Burman in, humming that, and Sham, meaning names Yahweh. In the name of Yahweh Shai. It was just, I was just doing my budgeting and stuff like that. And then you see where money it goes here, going there, going here, going there, and it's just like, damn, that's just that's just this world for us, right? And this precept came to mind, right? It's Haggai 1:6. You have so much and bring in little. You eat, but you have not enough. You drink, but you're not filled with drink. You clothe you, but there is none warm. And he that earneth wages to put it in to a bag with holes. And this is the story that, as Israelites, we know. Right, we don't know where this video is going to go, but it's rolling the spirit. But yeah, man, as Israelites, this is what we've known, man. Right, just throughness, right? In this captivity, right? Now, what's beautiful is these things are starting to move on to our enemies, right? This is Deuteronomy 30:7, right? It says, and the Lord Yahweh thy power will put all these curses upon thine enemies and on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee, right? And that's it. It's beautiful to see, these curses go on our enemies, right? It's beautiful to see that because they've been oppressing us, and it's this is what they're gonna get in the kingdom. This is just the beginning of what they're gonna get in the kingdom. Right, because the Lord Yahweh Hashem Yahshua is righteous in that he's gonna give us the heathen, right? He's gonna give us this world, right? When it says in Daniel, right, that we go and take the kingdom, right? It means exactly that, but it's by way of Yahweh Shai, right? This is Daniel 7:18. But the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom, and shall take the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever, even forever and ever. Okay, and that's it. The saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom, man. Right? Through Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Right? It's not gonna be done of ourselves. It's gonna be done of of the Lord. Right? And that's why Yahweh Shai is needs to be reverenced, right? Because it's by his sacrifice. Right? This is Revelation 5:5 says, and one of the elders saith unto me, weep not, behold, the Lion of the tribe of Judah, the root of David, hath prevailed to open the book and loose the seven seals thereof, which is referring to Yahweh Shai. And I beheld, and lo, in the midst of the throne and of the four beasts, and in the midst of the elders stood a lamb, as it had been slain, having 7 horns and 7 eyes, which are the 7 spirits which the Most High sent forth into all the earth. And he came and took the book out of the right hand of him that sat on the throne. And when he had taken the book, the 4 beasts and the 40 and 20 elders fell down before the Lamb, right, proving that Yahweh Shai is to be worshipped. Right, it says, having every one of them harps and the golden vials full of odors, which are the prayers of the saints. And they sung as it were a new song. Thou art worthy to take the book and to open the seals thereof, for thou wast slain and hast redeemed us to the Most High by thy blood, and out of every kindred and tongue and people and nation, right? Because the children of Israel, right, are scattered throughout all of these different nations. Okay, we right now we look as part of the curses, right? Right now we look like everyone, right? Verse 10 says, and has made us unto our power kings and priests, and we shall reign on the earth, right? So it's through Yahweh Shai we will be able to get back into that position of rulership. But right now, right, we're just in the last legs of our captivity, wherein we are going to be subject to payments, right? Would you call it? That's not this one. Let me grab that. Right, this is Baruch. Forget, is it 3? Yeah, 3 and 8. It says let's see. Start from 8. It's a brute through and fast luck. It says, remember not the iniquities of our fathers, but think upon thy power and thy name now at this time. Right? It says, for thou art the Lord our power, and thee, O Lord, will we praise. And for this cause thou hast put thy fear in our hearts, to the intent that we should call upon thy name, right? And praise thee in our captivity, which is what we're doing right now, right? It's the final fulfillment, right? Asking the Lord to, have mercy on our, our iniquities, which if we be of the elect, right? That is something that is, that is written to be the case, right? I'm trying to think what that is. It's a Psalms. I was trying to remember where the Psalms 32 it says, "Blessed is he whose transgression is forgiven, whose sin is covered. Blessed is the man unto whom the Lord Yahweh imputeth not iniquity, and in whose spirit there is no guile." Right. So if someone is of the elect, and then the Lord has basically through Yahweh Shai, right, has covered their sins, right, which was always the case, part of the what's the word I'm looking for, part of the the storyline was that you'd have the elect, right, that were the remnant, that basically the Lord's the blood of Yahweh Shai would cover them, right? So regardless of everything that Esau's trying to do in terms of accusing, right, the Archim accusing Israel, right, the Lord has an elect prepared, right, an elect saved, okay. And that's not of ourselves, that's just from the foundation of the earth. Let me grab this real quick. It's Ephesians 1 and 4 and 3, right? It says, blessed be the Most High and Father of our Lord Yahushua Mashiach, who hath blessed us with all spiritual blessings in heavenly places in Mashiach, according as he hath chosen us in him before the foundation of the world, that we should be holy and without blame before him in love. Okay, having predestinated us unto the adoption of children by Yahushua Mashiach to himself, according to the good pleasure of his will. Right, so the elect are chosen just because, right, the good pleasure of his will is their righteousness with the Most High. God forbid. Okay, so I'm back here, right? Surprised it's not one of the presets listed, but yeah, let's pull some of these up, see what we can get from them, right? Beautiful. Romans 8 and 1. There is therefore now no condemnation to them which are in Mashiach Yahushai, who walk not after the flesh but after the spirit. Okay, and that's why we'll be going through certain things, was dealing with the curses and stuff like that, right? But the beautiful thing is understanding that it's all a part of the trialing of our faith, right? How are we gonna deal with situations as they arise, okay? But we understand through the Spirit that this is but for a moment, right? That there is something better coming, okay? Isaiah 44 and 22 says, I have and 21, remember these, O Jacob and Israel, for thou art my servant. I have formed thee, thou art my servant. O Israel, thou shalt not be forgotten of me. And this is what Esau's trying to do. He's trying to make a case for the Lord to not deal with the children of Israel, but it's futile, right? And I think of, I believe it's Jeremiah 31, right, where let's read this. Jeremiah 31:35. Thus saith Yahweh, which giveth the sun for a light by day, and the ordinances of the moon and of the stars for a light by night, which divided the sea when the waves thereof roar. Yahweh of hosts is his name. If these ordinances depart from before me, saith Yahweh, then the seed of Israel shall cease from being a nation before me forever. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, if heaven above can be measured, and the foundation of the earth searched out beneath, I will also cast off all the seed of Israel for all that they have done, saith Yahweh. So when you're seeing going up into the heavens, measuring the heavens, measuring the oceans, right, he's trying to make this be fulfilled, because he thinks that he can make it such that the Most High is going to forget his chosen, his people. Okay, but the Most High is not going to forget the children of Israel. Okay, it says, I have blotted out as a thick cloud thy transgressions, and as a cloud thy sins. Return unto me, for I have redeemed thee. Let's see what we have here. Is Jeremiah 31, so that's what we were just reading. Close that one. Right, so Revelation 14 and 5 can, yeah, it says, and in their mouth was found no guile, for they are without fault before the throne of the Most High. Right, and then lastly, Isaiah 66 and 2 says, for all those things hath mine hand made, and all those things have been, saith the Lord Jehovah, but to this man will I look, even to him that is poor and of a contrite spirit, and trembleth at my word. So when the Lord has his elect, there are certain things he makes them go through to make them have that contrite spirit, right? To make them have that contrite spirit so that the Lord can work with them. But I digress. I'm trying to remember where we were. We got here. Yes, we read these precepts here. It was finishing off Baruch 3. So verse 7 says, and for this cause, Baruch 3 and 7, and for this cause thou hast put thy fear in our hearts, to the intent that we should call upon that name and praise thee in our captivity. For we have called to mind all the iniquity of our forefathers that sinned before thee. You read, Micah, right? 7, where I've sinned against the Lord, right? I'll bear the indignation of the Lord because I've sinned against him, which is why we're in this predicament. Right, we got the basis, the man ruling over us, right, and we just can't have to deal with it. Not can't have to do it, we just have to deal with it. Okay, but we understand that the Lord is coming to, it is written already, right, that this is but for a short time. In fact, we can grab that as well. This is 2 Corinthians 4:17. It's 4:16. I'll start from here. So for this cause we faint not, but though our outward man perish, yet the inward man is renewed day by day. With all of this affliction that we go through, ultimately our inward man is being renewed. For our verse 17, for our light affliction, which is but for a moment, worketh for us a far more exceeding and eternal weight of glory. And when it says eternal, it means exactly that. It means exactly that. The children of Israel are going to live forever. Why? Because we ain't going to sin anymore. We're going to be right. It goes on to say, while we look not at the things which are seen, but at the things which are not seen. The things which are seen are temporal, but the things which are not seen are eternal. And the precept that's coming to mind in Proverbs, says Proverbs 29:18, when there is no vision, the people perish, but he that keepeth the law, happy is he. And when you consider the kingdom, when you consider everything that apostles on down, right, that we're fighting for, these are things which are not seen. This is why it's a trial of our faith, right? Because we haven't seen the kingdom, but we hope for the kingdom, because here it's just pain and bills. Okay, pain and bills, to the point where you quote unquote earn a decent wage or whatever it is. You look at your circumstances, and circumstances should be decent, but then you do all the maths. You're like, damn, So it says, behold, we are yet this day in our captivity, wherein thou hast scattered us for a reproach and a curse, and to be subject to payments, according to all the iniquities of our fathers, which departed from the Lord our power. And yet, just being subject to payments, man, right? That's just our, part of the story here, right? But in the kingdom, right, we're gonna have an abundance, right? And that's ultimately one of the things that we look for, right? Let me grab this. Is Isaiah 60. I'm gonna go and start. It's all kind of good. I'll start from 10 though. It says Isaiah 60 and 10, and the sons of strangers shall build up thy walls, and their kings shall minister unto thee. For in my wrath I smote thee, but in my favor have I had mercy on thee. Therefore thy gates shall be open continually, they shall not be shut day nor night, that men may bring unto thee the forces of the Gentiles, and that their kings may be brought. And we're gonna be balling out in the kingdom of Israel. All of these nations that will basically be bringing their goods, their services, right, themselves to serve us, right? And that's one of the things that we're looking forward to. Verse 12 says, for the nation and kingdom that shall not serve thee shall perish, Yea, those nations shall be utterly wasted. The glory of Lebanon shall come unto thee, the fir tree, the pine tree, the box together, to beautify the place of my sanctuary, and I'll make the place of my feet glorious. And the sons also of them that afflicted thee shall come bending unto thee. And this, this is part of the joy, okay, right? Having these heathens that afflicted us being subservient unto us, worshipping us. It says, and all are rather bowing down to us, okay. It says, and all they that despise thee shall bow themselves down at the soles of thy feet, and they shall call thee the city of Yahweh. This is the Zion of the Holy One of Israel, right? So once again, these different nations, they're going come down, right, and not worship us, but like be subservient to us, reverence us is the word that I'm looking for. Okay, verse 15. Whereas thou hast been forsaken and hated, so that no man went through thee, I'll make thee an external excellency, a joy of many generations. Thou shalt also suck the milk of the Gentiles, and shalt suck the breast of kings, and thou shalt know that I, Yahweh, am thy Savior, and thy Redeemer, the mighty one of Jacob. And so basically, we're going to get their riches. Like these Gentiles, these kings, we're going to get their rich, we're going to get, their resources. For brass I'll bring gold, and for iron I will bring silver, and for wood brass, and for stones iron, and I'll make thy officers peace, and thine exactors righteousness. So violence shall no more be heard in thy land, wasting or destruction within thy borders, but thou shalt call thy walls salvation, and thy gates praise. Okay, so we're going have everything that we don't have now. Right now, you might live in a place you're constantly worried, about a drive-by, right? A violence, all of the chemicals and stuff that you sort of be putting in our kingdom, right? But all of that is coming, to an end, okay? And that's what we're looking for. So, like I said, wasn't too sure where I was going to go with this, but as always, Lord's all that was edifying. Until next time, we say shalom.